For years, some of the world's richest people have hidden their wealth in prominent offshore tax havens in places like the Bahamas or Belize. Now, a new investigation reveals the involvement that the United States and prominent world leaders have in the secretive world.
There are 1,001 different ways to describe a tax haven. It's generally considered as a country or a jurisdiction
where you can put your money and avoid paying taxes where you made your money.
A team of reporters from the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, The Washington Post, and hundreds of reporters around the world unearthed secrets from millions of documents. The Pandora Papers show how the ultra-rich and powerful move their money around the globe. It is the largest collaboration of journalists ever organized by the ICIJ.
We have emails, passport copies, bank statements that show how presidents, kings, princesses, billionaires, and criminals hide and move money.
There are more than 11.9 million documents that reveal the holdings of powerful foreign figures, including the King of Jordan, and a woman widely considered to be the girlfriend of Russian President Vladimir Putin.
The United States, through some very liberal laws in places like Alaska, South Dakota, Nevada, and Delaware, have really become go-to tax havens for global clients.
American politicians and lawmakers have long criticized tax havens in smaller countries.
You've got a building in the Cayman Islands where 12,000 companies supposedly are located. Now, that's either the biggest building in the world or the biggest tax ripoff in the world.
That was 2007. 14 years later, if you want to protect your money, Sioux Falls, South Dakota has become a place to go.
All of these trust companies, they are managing billions of dollars in assets for customers all over the world. You just wouldn't expect it.
This building, which is in the city's downtown, now houses close to $100 billion in assets from foreign millionaires and billionaires, including some who have been accused in their home countries of fraud, bribery, human rights abuses, and other wrongdoings, either personally or through their companies. Like Horst Happel, an orange juice industrialist from Brazil. In 2016, Happel and others paid an $88 million settlement to the Brazilian government for allegedly colluding to underpay local farmers. He set up a trust in the Midwestern state in 2017. So did the family of Carlos Morales Troncoso, the former vice president of the Dominican Republic who ran Central Romana, a sugar company accused of human rights abuses. Morales set up his trust in the Bahamas, and after his death, it was transferred to South Dakota for the benefit of his daughters. His daughters, through an attorney, said they have never been involved in Central Romana's operations.
And after this, we'll head to South Dakota Trust Company and check them off one by one.
Okay.
South Dakota is one of a handful of states with some of the most liberal regulations for offshore accounts in the world.
This is a state that hasn't been traditionally wealthy, and so when lawyers proposed to lawmakers in South Dakota to change legislation to turn South Dakota into a tax haven, many of these lawmakers were convinced that jobs and money would follow. Our investigation has shown that that's far from being the case.
U.S. law requires trust companies to confirm the identities of clients, but it provides little guidance on who to accept and who to turn away. The Pandora Papers also expose how U.S. citizens move their money outside the country while facing criminal investigations or costly lawsuits. This is where Glenn Godfrey comes in. His companies in Belize have set up trusts, bank accounts, and corporations for an alleged murderer, a high-profile child sex offender, a mob associate connected to the Colombo crime family in New York, and a self-described constitutionalist who solicited the murder of a judge, a prosecutor, and an IRS agent. Godfrey has not responded to multiple requests for comment.
It's very difficult for prosecutors to track money offshore for all kinds of reasons. A lack of cooperation from the governments of tax havens like Belize, to just not having the time or the resources.
Tax havens are legal. For example, businesses use them to reduce their tax burden, and countries use them to spur investment. But sometimes trusts are used for improper reasons and for criminal activity.
Tax havens in and of themselves are legal, but tax havens have been used over the years for illegal purposes, for hiding money from authorities, avoiding taxes that you owe, parking illicit gains from white-collar crime, or for politicians to disguise payments that are part of corruption.
So while it might not be illegal in every case, It's highly problematic in terms of ethics, and it's highly problematic in terms of the growing rift of inequality that we see around the world.
The Pandora Papers also show world leaders and their loyal circles participating and benefiting from this secretive system. Jordan's King Abdullah II is one of them. Over the past decade, as billions of dollars in American aid poured into his country, a secret stream of money flowed in the opposite direction. Companies associated with Abdullah spent millions to buy extravagant homes in the United States.
We were able to show that King Abdullah has secretly bought compounds in Malibu or overlooking the Potomac River in Georgetown and in London, and that he has spent more than $100 million in secret over the past 10 or 11 years on lavish properties that are unknown to the people of his country.
Abdullah's lawyers said their client did not misuse any public funds or foreign assistance. Another person benefiting from the secretive system is a Russian shop cleaner. Previously undisclosed financial records, combined with local tax documents, show that Svetlana Krivenal-Geek became the hidden owner of a luxury condominium in Monaco nearly 20 years ago, just months after giving birth to a girl. The child was born at a time when she was in a secret, years-long personal relationship with Russian President Vladimir Putin, according to a 2020 Russian media report.
Когда мы нашли соцсети Елизаветы, то последние сомнения в том, кем друг другу приходились Владимир Путин и Светлана Кривоногих, отпали. Такого сходства мы не ожидали.
She, within months of giving birth to this girl, came into possession of a shell company which owned a pretty impressive apartment overlooking the Mediterranean in Monte Carlo.
A Kremlin spokesman did not respond to a request for comment submitted by the ICIJ on behalf of the Post and other partner media organizations in the Pandora project. Krivenal-Geek has not spoken about her alleged relationship with Putin or her accumulation of wealth. She did not respond to requests for comment. It's estimated that corporations and the super wealthy have stashed away as much as $32 trillion, untaxed or at a very low rate. This does not include real estate, art, and jewels. That's more than the United States' total gross domestic product in 2020, and more than 10 times the current U.S. budget deficit.